How's everybody doing? So we got another video. We're going to talk about Meek Mill, right? Because he said something recently. He said that the IRS told him to pay $2.8 million when he only made $2 million in the year 2013. I think this just happened recently, and the Breakfast Club covered it, and I'm going to do a reaction video to it. But before I do, for those of you who are just tuning in, if you didn't catch this live, make sure you type replay in the comment section so I can make sure I acknowledge you. And here we go. We're gonna jump into this, and I want to know you guys' opinion, right? Because this is pretty interesting. I don't know. I have my reservations about this, but let me share the screen so we can jump into it. All right. Giving it some time. I think it's buffering. There we go. Okay, let's go.
So how Meek Mill gonna pay more than what he made?
Taxes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I listen. Don't give me the line. Maybe this is above my tax bracket.
You didn't reach out to the IRS and
I did not. Some people assume some people I do not want to talk to. All right.
Okay.
So Meek Mill tweeted that the IRS. I'm gonna read his tweet verbatim. IRS made me pay 2.8 M from 2013, and I only made 2 million. How do I fight that? I've been paying my taxes since I was 23 years old. Paying dang near 3 M out your pocket randomly is stressful.
Hmm.
I didn't know you could pay more in taxes than what you made.
Neither did I.
Hold on. Let's stop there right there. He said paying $2.8 million out of your pocket randomly is stressful. I don't think it's random, right? The IRS just doesn't send you a letter out of nowhere, specifically for the year 2013. So that's not random. I'm sure they've been trying to reach out to you, and you've probably been, you've been on the road, you've been touring, you've been doing your thing, so you haven't been paying attention to it. Let's continue.
You can't. And it's like, why? It's like all them people that be around me. I don't know who he's around, but I know he knows some good people, some smart people.
Like Ruben.
Like, there you go. You know what I mean? I don't know. Why wouldn't you call somebody and ask somebody? Now, Boosie always go online asking for stuff, but stuff like that. Why don't you have anybody that can advise you?
Well, probably just don't call his financial advisor. Business
Maybe
advisor.
you don't have one.
What probably happened was, the IRS can go back 3 years. Maybe it was 3 years of money that was owed, and there's penalties and fees and interest. Or he could have made $2 million on the quote unquote books, and then if he deposited any type of cash into his account, they charged him for that, which would have been more than the $2 million he made on the book. So let's say he has a show and you're performing and you put 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100,000 in your account, and you don't claim that. Oh, they'll
So you would have made more.
So let me stop it real quick. Envy has either been in tax situations or he pays attention to his accountant because he knows a lot, and he said a lot, right? And he's accurate in a lot of what he was saying. This is probably a situation where it's multiple years of money being owed, or there might be some money that he might have made 2 million, but he probably didn't report other money that he made. And so what happens, right? Whenever you earn money and someone is paying you that money, they most likely, if it's a large amount of money, they're going to issue you a 1099. And so if you don't know, if you are someone that is getting money from all different kinds of directions, and you only give your accountant a specific amount of 1099s, but you still have a lot more that you didn't necessarily give to them, they're only going to do the tax return based on the 1099s that they've been given. And so now what ends up happening is you have all this other money that you didn't report on your tax return that you have to pay taxes on. And so for the year 2013, that's literally what, 11 and a half, 12 years ago? It's a long time ago. So imagine the amount of interest and penalties that's been accrued because you haven't taken care of that situation.
More than 2 million.
on the books. Yes.
I asked my business manager yesterday because when I see stuff like that, it scares me. Me too. And the first thing he said was that can't happen.
He said impossible.
He said, I'm thinking he owed back taxes plus interest and penalties from years behind that kept on accruing. And he said if his taxes owed from years prior that kept adding up. Yeah, he said his taxes owed from years prior that kept adding up. There's not a way on God's green earth that can happen. You can't make 2 million and pay 2.8 million. There has to be other things in consideration. Those are his words, not mine.
You see how we went and got all those answers?
Mine said the same.
And then Meek.
Let me pause that again. The businessman. So business managers a lot of times are accountants, and a business manager is specifically somebody that works with people of some fame or some notoriety, some high net worth people that they have a lot of business going on, and that person's managing everything that's happening, right? So he spoke to his business manager, and his business manager, who has a lot of experience with the government, with the IRS, gave him that information, and that's accurate as well. Like, it has to be a multiple year thing potentially, or like I said earlier, there's income that was left out that he didn't report on his tax return. Let's continue.
Tweeted after this, I am not in tax debt. I'm saying I know I didn't owe 2.8 in taxes if I only paid 2 million max in 2013. I'm confused.
You gotta
there's no
stop
debt.
talking to the internet. Stop talking to Twitter. Who are you explaining this to?
Crazy.
First of all, the people, when you tweeted that out originally, nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear that you owe 2.8 million in taxes because you got the money to pay it. What he said, I go to my account and I take 3 million out. That hurts or something like that. Really?
Mhm.
That is a luxury, my brother.
Mhm.
Who are you talking to when you even having that conversation? Why are you talking out loud like that?
Because his accountant must be busy. He said they be counting him out like his accountant ain't busy. His
Lord,
accountant
So
is-
now don't get it twisted.
That is hilarious. Let me stop that again. So Charlemagne said that why are you telling the public about your business? Because it's a privilege, and I definitely see that. It makes sense. But I also think sometimes it is good to talk about these things out in the public so that people can understand certain things not to get themselves into, right? Because he talked about this, now it's spurring conversation, and now a lot of us are talking about this, and people are learning, so that once they get in that situation, or once they get to that level in the future, they won't have to go through the same things that he's going through right now, right? So I implore everybody, right, as you're growing, you have to hire the right people and put them in the right place. You have to hire an accountant, an accounting team, an accounting firm, somebody or a team that can help stay on this type of stuff, right? Because this isn't your expertise. This is not his expertise. His expertise is entertainment, rapping, entertaining people, right? His expertise is not, and it should not be, managing the money in your business. I'm sure he has a lot of business endeavors. Sure, he has real estate. He has different businesses. He has the shows that he does. He's trying to make albums. And so this is something that should not be crossing his lap, right? His team should be the ones that should be concerned and worried about this. So it's important to make sure that you hire the right representation as you're growing.
A lot of people that owe money in taxes and
Yeah.
don't understand how they owe the taxes, but it's
And
not
then-
2.8.
And then that's just like keep it 100. I mean, it still do hurt to have to pay that. I don't care if he is rich. I don't care. Maybe
Yeah,
he is. Maybe
absolutely.
he is not. We don't know, because a lot of people act like they got money and don't got money. But you know what I mean. I understand that it'll get some, a regular working class person like upset, but that don't mean we don't got issues because we got. You know what I'm saying?
When people have to pay
So,
the
I don't like to
IRS
hear that either.
$500,
Like, don't
it's
tell me I can't complain.
it's one of the worst things ever is when you open up that mailbox and you see that letter from the IRS.
That's
So I tell them
right.
Urs, and oh my gosh, that will change your day.
That's right. Ursula be coming.
I think I understood what he mean.
Hold up, let me pause it again, right? So a lot of people do get annoyed and nervous and scared whenever they get an IRS letter, and I'm here to tell you that you don't necessarily have to be like that. You can hire somebody, right? A lot of people hire us. What they do whenever they get a letter, they just send it to us. They don't even have to worry about it because they know that we're gonna go above and beyond and try to figure out what's going on. A lot of times it might be just a simple mistake on their end. The IRS is not perfect. I think a lot of times people get scared of the IRS and they think that the IRS, whenever they say you need to pay this or you need to do this, that it's automatically the truth. And it's not always the case, right? There are times where you might just need to send them some documents to be able to prove that you don't owe this or this isn't your responsibility. I've seen all kinds of situations where people have been able to get out of having to pay whatever the IRS said that they need to pay because they had the documentation and they hired people like us to help represent them.
He's not in debt after saying that he owed money. He
What you
paid
think?
it off.
Right? Yeah, he paid it off.
Okay,
He
gotcha.
paid it off.
I had to
Thank
think
God he
about
had
it.
the money
Every
paid
day
off,
his
yeah.
tweets be tracking. I had to think about it. All right.
Now we gotta build that account back up. I know what that's like. That's crazy, and it hurts. Whether you rich or poor, it hurts.
All
I just don't
right.
understand who you talking to when you post that. That's all.
He don't talk to nobody. Meek don't even gotta be
That
talking
is
to
true.
nobody.
Meek be tweeting in the dark.
He He just want to be heard. Oh no.
All right. So
Call
next up-
Wallow, Meek. Whenever you need to talk, just call Wallow, man.
Yeah, never be able to
So
get
we-
off that phone. That's crazy. That nigga talk a lot.
Yeah. So next story.
All right. Okay. We can definitely jump off that. Yeah. What did y'all think though? What's y'all's thoughts on this whole Meek Mill thing? Have y'all been in a situation like this? Have you been in a situation like this where, you know, the IRS has said that you owe a certain amount of money and you've had to either pay it or you've sought out representation from someone that could help you? Let me know your IRS stories in the comments, right? Because, you know, the IRS, if you saw a few of my videos back in like last week, actually, I talked about how Doge, the Department of Governmental Efficiency, headed by Elon Musk and President Trump, they have let go of 6,700 IRS employees last week. And I think in total, they're trying to let go of 15,000 employees. So there's going to be a lot of letters being sent out. And whenever you try to call the IRS, they're not going to have enough representation, most likely, to help you. So I could imagine there's going to be long waits on the phone. There's going to be, even if you try to go in person to your IRS location, it's probably going to be long lines. It's going to be even longer. It's probably not going to move as quickly. So with that being said, it's a lot of mayhem that's coming. Let me see what some of the comments say. I see, hey Lisa, how's it going? She said, yes, right now it's with Maryland tax, needed me to resubmit. It's a problem. And that's another level. I'm glad you mentioned that too, right? Because whenever we think of tax, we think of the IRS. But if you live in a state that has state tax, you also have that state that you have to now do tax relationships with or whatnot. You have a relationship with that state and you owe them. And you have to deal with that and the IRS. Luckily, you know, like myself, that's based in Texas, I've never had to deal with state tax. Some other states that you don't have to deal with that would be Florida, Nevada, excuse me. Those are the three states that come to mind. I'm sure there's others. I think Tennessee as well. But there's states that you don't have to deal with the state tax. Obviously, your property tax may be a lot higher in those states. But I say that to say, when we think of tax, we only a lot of times just think of the IRS, but the state, they are going to collect franchise tax from you, sales tax, property tax, state tax. Like they have so many different state taxes. If you're in California or New York, you're going to have city tax, you're going to have county tax. Just a lot of different taxes that needs to be paid on top of the employees that you're paying taxes for, your Social Security, Medicare tax. So it's a lot of different taxes that are coming out of our checks that we have to pay. You know, so I'm glad Lisa brought that up. But yes, this is good. I just wanted to jump on here real quick to do a reaction video. Meek, you're not the first person to go through this. A lot of people go through it. But I think it is good to speak to your accountant, your CPA, or your business manager and have them explain everything thoroughly. Or maybe you're right. Maybe you do owe $2.8 million in the year of 2013. I don't think that's possible, though, just like the Breakfast Club said. So I guess we'll find out. Maybe you'll tweet some things to follow up and, you know, update us or whatnot. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Until next time.